Hey there, it's Melissa and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another episode in the series that I do with Danni, and it's the Unscrapped Bundle of Joy, and I've linked Danni's channel below. Do go and check out her layout, it's absolutely stunning. So I am using two Pink Fresh Studio collections. The one you can see now is just a little lovely, which was released last year, and I got that when I guest designed for Click Kits. And Noteworthy is recent, and I got it from my, I think it was March hip kit. And I think Noteworthy is my favourite Pink Fresh collection of all time. I just absolutely adore it. But I also love Just a Little Lovely. And I watched a video recently where Missy Whiddon combined both of these collections. I'm not sure if it was Noteworthy. It was either My Favourite Story or Noteworthy with Just a Little Lovely. And the cup file that you can see I have purchased from Pink Fresh, and I'll put the link to that below as well. Because I'm working with scraps and I was struggling with Mojo a bit, not Mojo, but with creative ideas. And so I thought, why not use a cut file, because it'll help with the direction that my layout takes, but it'll also enable me to use up some of these scraps. And what I have is, I guess, not much pattern paper, but quite a lot of embellishments left. And so I do find it hard to use a kit or a collection once I get down to scraps of pattern paper. And what I mean really is, if I had a lot of scraps, I'd be fine, but I don't with both. So that's why I was keen to have a go at combining these collections and see if I could make them work. So you saw there that I have backed my cut file, and now I'm just putting glue on this very thin piece of the cut file. I mean, it's all thin, but when you don't back it, or as you go to back it, like I'm doing now, it's very, very thin. So I'm backing it on vellum, which was scary, to say the least. It's a bit uneven here, which annoyed me, and it's quite cringy to watch. But I lift it up with my tweezers, and if you're quick with this glue, you can lift it up. This is a really quick drying adhesive, but yeah, if you're quick, you can do it. And so I've done that, and it's still not perfect, but there's nothing I can do. So I'm just going to roughly trim this out. Those are some Tim Holtz scissors, the black handled ones, that are really good at cutting adhesive, but you do really have to wait. When I say cutting adhesive, cutting out or trimming out things that you've glued and the adhesive goes over the edge, but you do have to kind of wait till it dries a bit. So that piece that I'm distressing, that is a cut apart. I think it's from Noteworthy. If it's not from Noteworthy, it's from My Favourite Story. But anyway, so is this floral. And when I had this hip kit, I cut all of the cut aparts apart, and I thought that would make it easier for me to use them, but I used none of them. I don't know if it was because I couldn't make them work, or I don't know. Sometimes if you don't fussy cut them out, they kind of lend to a grid layout. And I don't think I made any grid layouts with the kit. But anyway, I don't mind having things left over because I'll use them anyway, like I am now. And so I thought that quote by Dr. Seuss was really good, or really perfect for this photo of my husband, Sean, holding Ava when she was just born. And I had to have a cesarean, and so he got the first hold and first cuddle, and I can't remember who was in the room, but one of the staff took photos for us, which was amazing. And so this is just a really sweet photo, and I don't know why I haven't scrapped it. Probably because actually, hey, what is this whole series about? It's about baby layouts that you don't scrap, or baby photos that you don't scrap. And so here I'm wanting to do a little bit of mixed media. You'll notice that I've gone from a white background, which I originally wanted to use, and now I'm using this, which is the last full sheet of pattern paper from Just a Little Lovely. And I've always held on to this paper, not wanting to use it, but I knew that when I used it, I would either fussy cut out those beautiful flowers or use the whole thing as a background. And so I'm really happy that I've made the decision finally to use it as a background. So I'm just doing the packaging technique. I'm using some Lindy's Gang Magicals, and I'm using a little toddler plate. So if you've got toddlers and they've grown up into preschoolers or older, hang on to these plates because they actually make really good paint palettes. So anyway, little side story with that plate, I was doing some creating at the kitchen table or dining room table this week, and I was doing exactly what I'm doing now, using some of the magicals and the packaging technique and splattering like I'm doing, and I noticed that the plate was gone, and my husband had done the dishes and must have thought that that was just left over from some food. I was using gold, actually. You can see a bit of it on that top little separated part. Anyway, I took it and washed it, and yeah, he just assumed that it was from the kids. But anyway, just a little tip here that these little plastic plates are really good as a palette. So what I've done there is added a bit more of the powder just to make that more concentrated for my splatters, and I added a lot of water to get it diluted. So I've been watching a lot of Lauren Hender, who's on the design team at HipKit, and Corrie Jones, she also is. Actually, all three of them, Missy Winnan. I've been watching a lot of their process videos to help me with my mixed media, because I want to get better at mixed media and I really enjoy it, and I'm finding that I struggle now with a stark white background, whereas before I'd always go for that, but now I find that I'm just needing a bit more to make some interest in the background of my layouts. So the other thing I did was add some Heidi Swap Colour Shine in gold. It's a new bottle, and I do find that I have to shake it a lot. So I didn't shake it on camera. I shook it for probably a few minutes, because if I don't do that, I get a watery film on top of my droplets. And so that's why I was using the paper towel just to dab up some of that watery film. So this ended up a bit too wide, so I've just trimmed it down, distressing it again because I'm just so into distressing at the moment. And then I'm thinking I do need something as a photo mat behind my photo, and I go back and forth for a couple of minutes over that cut apart that you can see there. It had a blue and white pattern on the back, and it had this little pink with white dots that I'm using, and I couldn't decide. Well, I did, obviously. I settled on this one, but it did take me a couple of minutes to decide what to go with. So I think I went with pink because the photo is very blue, with Sean wearing the cap that you have to wear in surgery and the gown, and there's not many other colours in that photo, and so I went with pink just to pull a bit of pink down to this part of the layout. So I'm adding my trusty craft foam. I wasn't going to, but then I thought, no, it definitely needs to pop up. And I also managed to pull up those leaves, the cut file leaves, off the vellum. I'd glued them down, but I just gently pulled them up because I decided I wanted them to overlap my photo. So I thought I've really got to add that floral because I've cut it out, because I really wanted to use it. And I think I needed to balance from the floral on the top left with the cut file floral. I needed something else on the bottom right. So that Let's Grow Together, that was another cut apart from the cut apart sheet, and I thought that would be a really sweet title, but I think it wasn't really bold enough. So in the meantime, I made the call to cut apart this Beautiful Moments card. It's absolutely stunning, but I just really wanted that little floral piece to add to the floral that I've already put down, and I felt it needed a bit more colour. Like I said before, really, about the pink backing my photo, I needed some more colour down there. And then I've left this in, but I did agonise over what words to use for my title. I thought about calling it, Daddy's First Hug, but it was too much of a title, and I didn't really want to take away from that beautiful tag and that floral. So I thought about calling it Sweet Moments, Joyful Moments. There was even one word that said Grow. But I couldn't make the ascending and descending letters. I just couldn't make the two words work together, stack together. So in the end, I went with the word moment. And I thought, sweet moment. No, same problem again with the T, with two T's at the end of both those words. And then I've got these beautiful little phrase stickers with the watercolour treatment on them. And I've hardly used any of them, and I just adore them. And this one, what did it say? I can't even see it, but you can see it. You'll see it on the well, you'll see it on the video because it won't be so small. But anyway, that became my title. And then I did my journaling inside a frame, but I did not like it. As you can see there, it just doesn't look right. And then I got this little tag from Noteworthy and just decided to cover it up with that. And yes, you can see the frame on the edge, but it doesn't bother me. I think it adds a little bit of interest to the side of the frame of the tag. And so I'm just distressing that just slightly, not overboard. Added some twine. And here's my little trick if you ever want to know how to tie a bow and to get the part, the strings of the bow hang down. I tie them upside down. That's worked for me for years. And then I needed the date, didn't know where to put it, and just had this little tab hanging around from Noteworthy. So I just tucked it on the side there and put the date in. This needed something else. I had some sequins, as you can see there, from Clip Kits, but they were very purple and they didn't really go because I hadn't really used purple. Little touches of purple, but not enough to go and add any more purple elements. So I have used I think it's a flat blue and a shiny gold and a glittery pink just to add some Nouveau drops. So that is my layout. I hope you enjoyed. Do go and check out Danni's layout. Like I said, I've got her link below. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next month with this series. Take care.